Hey everyone, Max here with another Pioneer video. Today we are playing Hardened Scales, the creature aggro version. So as you can see, this is not the artifact version I recorded in my other league with Steel Overseer, Metallic Mimic, and the Hangerback Walker Ballista. Instead, this is a Pelt Collector Experiment 1 aggro version that aims to put together a pretty quick turn 4 kill. Turn 1, you play a 1-drop. Either one of these guys. Then you play turn 2 either a Winding Constrictor or a Hardened Scales plus an Endless One or Stonecoil Serpent, which enters a 2/2, which pumps this to a 3/3, so you hit for 3 damage. And then turn 3 you play Rishkar or Nissa, and you are now attacking for 9 on turn 3. And then turn 4 you have lethal, and that doesn't even bring up all the other cards you still have in your arsenal. So you put together a pretty clean, aggressive kill in this main deck. We've got 2 Abrupt Decays to kind of help clear the way for things. The sideboard, we've got anti-combo cards and 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Leyline the Void, some anti-aggro cards in the Collective Brutalities, which also has a split card with Duress, some Fatal Pushes, clear the way for cheap creatures, and then Golgari Charms for mostly for the Leyline of Abundance decks that are seeing play after this first challenge. This is being recorded midday Tuesday, so people have had about a day and a half to digest the results of the challenge. So let's hop into a league and see how this version of Hardened Scales performs. See you all soon. Hey everyone, we're here for round 1 of our Hardened Scales Creature Aggro Edition. We're against Mick Windsauce. We've lost the die roll. Blue-white entering tapped. Makes me think it's blue-white control. But let's jam out this Pelt Collector and see what happens next. Hopefully it survives. Prophetic Prism, okay. Maybe it's a 3-color control deck. Ooh, cool, we've got the combo now. So check this out. So Hardened Scales, Endless One, 3/3 Pelt Collector. And if all is well and good, we're attacking for 9 on turn 3. I will certainly try to. Maybe this is a graveyard combo deck? We'll probably figure out more after this discovery. Nope, 2 cards on top, so it's Esper something. I still think I'm best off just kind of YOLOing and attacking for 9. Anything short of a Supreme Verdict. And we've got him dead next turn. I guess Kaya's Wrath would also do it. But, anything sort of a Wrath effect. Yeah, this is what the deck aims to do. And we're putting the onus on our opponent of, can you Wrath us? The answer is probably going to be yes. D-Sphere, okay. Yep, D-Sphere the 5/5. So let's attack. And then I'll play an Experiment 1. Then I'll play a Walking Ballista. This is lethal. Okay, cool. So yep, turn 4 kill. This is what the deck aims to do, and we did it. So it looks like our opponent was on some sort of combo or control version. So I'm bringing in Thoughtseizes. I don't know how deep I want to go with Collective Brutalities just yet, but we can cut Abrupt Decays. And we can trim a little bit of the vulnerable creature package. Like, cut a Pelt Collector. And maybe a forest. This is a hedge against control. Say, hey, they're probably a little bit less likely to end the game quickly, and I want to be slightly less prone to flooding out. So let's fire that up. I'm glad you got to see what the deck was designed to do in game 1 of the first league, or first match. That's always enjoyable. I think Winsloss is going to play first, I assume. Given the detention sphere, I'm pretty confident they're on a control deck, not a combo deck, with that level of turn one, that level of game 1 interaction. Points more to control than a little bit of removal from combo. This hand seems strong. It's missing the Hardened Scales, but hopefully we can find like a Winding Constrictor here. I'm going to grab a Stonecoil Serpent. All the multicolor removal does not answer it. Demonic Pact. This is like a pact to donate deck. That's cool. Okay. I think I'm taking the pact though. Do not want to get my Demonic Pact donated to me when I can only choose to lose the game. I don't have much counterplay to that. Also makes sense about why they were playing Prophetic Prism. So here I'm going to play Walking Ballista, just as a 1/1. If they Oath of Kaya it, which they might, yeah, now I can shoot them and essentially I negate the life gain. Ooh, Winding Constrictor, perfect. Okay, so I think that at this point I play the Constrictor and the and an Endless one. I want to save the Stonecoil a little bit. I think it's my sturdiest threat. Say we get board wiped here. Oh, they're playing a Saheeli combo. And Oath of Kaya gets flickered. Okay. Well, that's rough, but it makes sense. So now we can... 1, 2, 3. Play Rishkar. So I want Rishkar's ability to resolve last. Put counters here and here. Got a pair of 3/3s. Next turn, hopefully I can jam out a big Stonecoil. So now we'll attack. I missed out on a point of damage, but I was just trying to see if I could bluff Walking Ballista. I could not. Not successfully, at least. But that's okay. Looks like our opponent's flooding out a little bit. Ooh, that's really good. Equals 3, okay. So I'm going to attack. One, two, three, four. Let's play this for full retail. Have it fight the Felidar Guardian. So that I'm not randomly dead to a Saheeli. Our opponent is fetching, trying to thin out their deck because they have one more turn. They found a verdict, then we're screwed. But I figured that closing the outs to only a verdict, as opposed to also a top decked Saheeli, was worth it. Okay, dig through time. Probably in good shape at this point then. Because our opponent, so they have not played a land, so they have 3 mana. They have a 3 mana play available to them, but there aren't any 3 mana wraths that I'm afraid of at this point. The best thing they could probably do is Oath of Kaya, but then they go to 12 and then they take 12. Okay, yeah, that's not going to cut it. Cool, so we got the match. That was fun. I'll see you all for round 2. Hey everyone, we're back for round 2. We're against Mystery Ganya. This is a good hand. It's got Hardened Scales. Doesn't look like it directly has a turn 4 kill, but we've got something along the lines of turn 1 Hardened Scales, turn 2 Ballista. Yeah, let's start off with some scales. We can figure out the rest next turn. Hopefully there's not a turn 2 Oko. Okay. I think my plan now is to play this Ballista and gun down the Mausoleum Wanderer. If I can keep the Ballista on the field, then I feel pretty good about keeping my opponent's board under control. Yeah, that's good for me. I think I'd rather get the... Maybe I'd rather get the Rishkar down now. I was going to say maybe the Nissa, but I think it's the Rishkar. Because then I can Nissa next turn. Let's attack for 3. I guess I don't need to use the Ballista yet. Okay, well, I know they don't have raid going on, but there's no reason to, I guess I get rattle chainsed. Yeah, collected company into rattle chains kind of hurts me here. That was what I should have been playing around. Look at that. Okay. Kill the rattle chains then. And Selfless Spirit gets hexproof. Okay. Good for it. So at this point I'm going to play an Endless 1-for-1. Am I attacking with Rishkar? I think I am. I have 6 mana available, technically. Yeah, I think 4/4 is fine. I can attack with Rishkar. Yeah, now it's a 6/6. Now I'm representing a lot of damage, so let's attack like this. Now we'll kill Selfless Spirit. And pass the turn to our opponent. Supreme Phantom, yep. And we got it. Okay. So we're against Bant Spirits. Fatal Pushes seem like a good way to kill their things. Collective Brutality seems like it's going to mostly be too little too late against a lot of their builds. Just a lot of their plays, they have bigger creatures than X2s. Given all their lords, they play that Eagle as well. What would we want to cut? Maybe a Nissa. It gets attacked down super easily. It's like a worse Rishkar. And it gets like eaten by Spell Queller. It's a bad investment. Yeah, let's just make that small change and resubmit. Keeping the 7. It's missing the turn 1/1-drop, but I've got Once Upon a Time to try to find it. But I can do turn 1/1-drop into turn 2 Winding Constrictor into turn 3 something cool. Since this is not a Mausoleum Wanderer, I'm waiting on my Once Upon a Time. Cast it now. Found a Pet Collector. I know it's Pelt Collector, but Pet Collector is a cuter thing to say. Okay, Supreme Phantom. Gonna make this guy 3/3. Hopefully find a 3rd land by next turn. That I can play a Rishkar. That would be the ideal. They're leaving up. I think I'm going to attack the Pelt Collector. They're probably leaving up Collected Company. I'm going to play a Winding Constrictor to play around Reflector Mage a little bit. I don't want to be stuck with 2 into my hand that I can't cast. Yep, there's a Collected Company. Decent chance this just gets knocked out by our good friend. What's it? The spirit that counters things. Blanking on the name. You know the one I'm talking about. Exiles the spell, converted mana cost 4 or less. But we didn't hit, so nice. However, our opponent's got quite a scary board presence going. That's worth noting. See how heavy they want to hit here. They can technically deal 9 to us. Wow. So this Stonecoil is going to have to come down. Okay, so my plan here is Stonecoil. See if this gets countered. It might. Okay, yep. Attack with everyone. Play a Ballista. And we'll see if we're facing down lethal. Yep, there's the Spellcaller. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, we're facing down lethal now, so we cannot win. Brutal. They used the whole Buffalo, but they got us. Yeah, this one was just a race, and we ended up slightly behind because they managed to disrupt our critical turn. And now we take a lot. So going into game 3. I don't think I want to change anything. My approach is perfectly reasonable. Fatal Push would have been a good draw at any point there. Let's resubmit. I would like to play first. I'm keeping this hand. A little bit land heavy, but it's got a turn 1 Scales, turn 2 Endless One, turn 3 Rishkar. It's a good curve. I'd rather not mulligan a hand that does that, especially since I draw a new card every turn. They're leaving up Ceremonious Rejection almost certainly. Yeah, they're thinking. So I'm going to take advantage of that and play a tapped Overgrown Tomb. Don't want them to use their Ceremonious Rejection efficiently. I'm going to try to play around it since I can afford to. If they don't have Ceremonious Rejection, they're bluffing it insanely well, so props to them. Green creature would be like the best draw here. I still don't really feel like playing into Ceremonious Rejection, so I'm going to play an Overgrown Tomb tapped. At some point I'll be able to slam down it huge on this one as well, which would be nice. Yeah, now they have Spell Queller open as well, but that's whatever. Drawing a lot of lands here. That's really not what I wanted to draw for my 3 running draw steps this turn. There's a chance I should have just jammed into the Ceremonious Rejection, but I figured that was just so bad when my only other card was a Rishkar. Okay, Once Upon a Time. Kind of like that. Play Once Upon a Time. I want to do Pelt Collector. I think so. I want to do... Voracious Hydra is obviously insane, though. I could Pelt Collector. No, I think I just... it reveals the card. Let's think about this a little bit. So if I take Pelt Collector, I can play Pelt Collector, play on this one, but I've been playing around this counterspell the whole time. I'm almost certain they have it. Spell Queller at this point, as well as Ceremonious Rejection. This turn, if I double spell into it, they can only use one of them. But Voracious Hydra is just so high impact that I think I'd be remiss to not take it. I'm going to take Voracious Hydra and pass the turn. That might have been the wrong play. But my opponent's clearly... So now they're representing Collected Company. I'm going to make the appropriate plays. Start off with an Endless 1/1. These can get pumped with Rishkar, by the way. Yeah, definite counterspells. But not casting something here lets them Collected Company end of turn if they don't have the Spell Queller already. So I'd rather do this. Okay, there's the Spell Queller, but at least it's not on an X spell. So if I kill Queller, I get it back. They're shocking. Okay, that was good. So now I can play a Rishkar. And they're kind of priced into answering it. Okay. I'm going to attack with both Endless ones. This might be stupid. But I think if I get a Rishkar back, if this is an upgrade of my board. Fighting Spell Queller. I mean, it's not great, but it's better than it was. Kind of wish my opponent didn't have 2 Spell Quellers, but again, this ceremonious rejection that they've been representing since turn 1 is just really getting in my way here. Let's attack first. So I can also Once Upon a Time on their end step. Use my mana more effectively. Okay, Collected Company. I'm gonna Once Upon a Time in response. Grab a. Again, they're representing the colorless counterspell, so I'm going to respect that by not taking colorless cards. That was a pretty bad Coco. Deputy. Probably taking the Hydra. Because it comes back as a 0/0. Taking the Hydra is the right call, yeah, because I don't get it back. Or it comes back as a 0/1. Play a Snake. They know about the Snake. Another Coco? Yep. Probably going to be a better one. That's way better. For them, at least. Bad for me. So at this point, I'm going to Fatal Push Supreme Phantom now. Just while they're tapped out. I know I could try to save it for the Spell Queller, but I think the likelihood of it resolving is too low. I'm going to send with Rishkar and not the Constrictor. I'm actually going to play the Pelt Collector first. Because if Rishkar dies, then I'm better off. Okay, Queller. Maximally punished. Okay, let's attack with Rishkar. I'm pretty sure their last card is counter target colorless spell still, though. No blocks. Which, if they didn't have a ceremonious rejection, they would not be doing. Because Ballista would be so brutal off the top. You're eating some food to gain some life. Supreme Phantom off the top. So now they can beat me in combat. That's not good. This game has fallen away quickly. Experiment 1 is less than ideal. I'm going to cast it. I am considering chump attacking with this. Pumps this into a 4/4, but I don't think I want to do that. Things are getting out of reach here. This goose is making and eating food. And we are facing down lethal? Might actually be lethal. It is lethal. They see it? They do. Okay. GG's, opponent. Boom. I will see you all for round 3. Hey everyone, we're back for round 3 against Grinder A. We've lost the die roll. This hand has a scales, so we're going to keep it. It's really, like, the scales hands are just so much better than the other stuff. You just want to keep scales hands. Let's cast a Once Upon a Time first. Got a Hydra. Well, this hand looks like it might end up a little bit slow. Depending upon what our mono white aggro opponent is doing. Cast another Once Upon a Time. Got a Ballista. Seems like it should be very good against them. Yep. So this enters as a 2/3. And could trade here. Ballista does the same thing. The Voracious Hydra also kills this next turn. We'll do the Ballista play. Next turn, we can play. So this is a 4/4. Oh boy. I think we might actually be more on the double the counters side of Voracious Hydra here. See if it enters as a 3/4. We play for 3, enters as a 4/5. Pay for 2, enters as a 3/4. Yeah, I think we just have to do the counters part of it. Not ideal. I'd rather be fighting things. But at least this way it's a stone wall. Seven, 8's pretty big. Granted, those are also pretty big. Oh no, okay, so we lose. That was pretty brutal. Lethal. Boom. Okay. So, I think if we had won the die roll, we would have won that one pretty handily. Definitely want Fatal Pushes. Golgari Charms are probably pretty good against what they've got going on. Maybe two of them. Collective Brutality as well. These are reasonable cards. Nissa seem a little bit slow. Trim Once Upon a Time's a little bit. I don't really have time to cast them. Let's play that. Against this mono white aggro deck. His hand's got a turn 1 Scales, turn 2 Golgari Charm or Constrictor, or Ballista, we'll keep. Got a lot of reasonable turn 2 plays. I think that I'm gonna just pass the turn here and end of turn Golgari Charm. See if they can sniff it out. Alrighty, you got a Thraben Inspector. At this point I'm going to play a Pelt Collector. Doesn't use my mana as effectively as anything else, but I want to get it down before my other stuff, just so I can grow it. Looks like they're gaining a life. Okay, well that's a little annoying. At least Ballista can shoot down the Lieutenant. Which is, I think, the play I'm going to make. Let's get it out of here. I'm the control deck right now. I am not the beatdown. Castle creates humans. My opponent is correct that I'm not going to block. Okay, so now I have green. And I could play a 2/3 Hydra. Seems like a bad idea. Play a big Stonecoil. Seems like a better idea. I go green-black here for Constrictor. Then play a Stonecoil for as a 3/3. Doesn't actually seem that good. I play a 4/4 Stonecoil, this becomes a 5/5. That actually just seems like the better play. Now I can attack with the 5/5 trample, I think. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to. I can't let them draw out of it forever. Especially with this castle coming. Raven Inspector, don't really care about that. I'll care about a Benalish Marshal. I would care a lot about a Benalish Marshal. I do not care too much about Cracking Cleaves. Do not particularly care about Dauntless Bodyguard. Okay, great. It gives it indestructible? Okay. Gonna give it -2/-2. See if Brave the Elements is used to save it. Okay, cool, we got the game. I think that on the draw, Collective Brutality is maybe a little bit going to be a little bit slow compared to Golgari Charm. Like, Golgari Charm lets me catch up by answering both their turn 1 and turn 2 plays on my turn 2. So I can kind of steal back the play that way, so I'm going to make that swap. Outside of that, let's resubmit. This hand's got a turn 1 Fatal Push, turn 2 Constrictor, turn 3 Big Things. Like it. Beep. Would I like them to use a Brave the Elements at this point in the game? I think yes. That's kind of what I'm going off of here. So I'm going to turn off Raid. They use Brave the Elements, that's okay. Yep. I don't think they have a second land. Wrong, they do. Just a tap land. So now I think I Abrupt Decay the Gideon. Or I can Abrupt Decay on its flip side, right? Yeah. Not super urgent that I Abrupt Decay it then. There, to get down my snake. Okay, so they drew the lands they need. Wonder what... Thalia's Lieutenant? Yeah, the White Orchid. Okay, that doesn't really matter. If I play a 2/2? I don't think so. I think I'm better served having my creatures larger. However, I think that it's worth just Abrupt Decaying the Keithion now. I don't want to play through another Brave the Elements right now. I want to get this off the board. Of course, it does open me up to Benalish Marshal, but got big creatures coming in, so that part should help. Got a 5/5 now and a 6/6 next turn. So hopefully I'm able to find some way to get this Marshal off the board before too long. Okay, well, I get a clue token out of that, so that's good. Ooh, perfect. Okay, so now Llanowar Wastes, 1, 2, 3, 5, why not? Bite, Marshal. Okay, so now I can hopefully stonewall a little bit longer. Tracking the clue means they're probably looking for some sort of Brave the Element effect. They did not find it. Let's crack a clue here. Pelt Collector is a good draw. Just want to make a little bit of a stonewall this turn. Just going to sit back on this. Maybe I'll attack with Voracious Hydra. Try to get the game over. Tramples, you know. Ballista off the top would probably be my best draw. A lot of mana. Okay, get a clue token at least. Fatal Push was a really good draw. I'm going to attack with these two. Hopefully they line up some block that's favorable to me. They didn't. Okay. Urborg is strictly worse than Forest. Okay. So if I get a big creature, I have a lot of trample power. Okay, well I get another clue at least. I'll crack it on their turn. Okay, perfect. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ballista for lethal. And we got there. Awesome. I will see you all for round 4. Hey everyone, we're back for round excuse me, we're back for round 4 of Hardened Scales Creature Aggro Edition. Here on MinMax blog, this is Max. We've lost the die roll against Ilton. We're keeping the hand, it's got a Constrictor in it. So if you're enjoying these videos, Min and I have been putting out classically legacy content every week for pretty much all of 2019, some vintage in there. Now with Pioneer's release, we're incorporating Pioneer into our regular release schedule, which you can find on www.minmaxblog.com. So yeah, if you are enjoying this video, please let us know. We love positive feedback. We do this stuff just out of a love of the game. Honestly, that's all there is to it. We're having fun. Not charging, nothing's behind a paywall. You won't find any ads on our site. Hopefully it's not a big get what you pay for. Our opponent looks like they're on some sort of control or mid-rangey deck, and they're ripping our hand apart. That's kind of rough. Also, if you're finding this on YouTube, please check out our site, minmaxblog.com. If you are finding this on MinMax Blog, you can find all of our other videos on YouTube. So at this point, I'm going to play an endless one, or 2, because like before, I think that the Stonecoil Serpents are the better card. I think that a lot of the removal is going to be multicolor, and I want to hopefully interact favorably with that. Okay, well that's unfortunate. Kind of had the feeling my opponent's on Esper Hero, given that they just took that Walking Ballista. You know, standard classic Esper Hero. Well, we top decked another Ballista, which is always perfect. But I'm going to play as if my opponent's on Esper Hero. Unfortunately, as you can tell, this deck is far, far worse when you do not have... Fatal Push? Okay, yeah. When you do not have... What am I trying to say? A Hardened Scales effect. Let's attack with Endless one here. And we're going to jam out another Stonecoil Serpent. Our plays are pretty much dictated for us. Like, this could get Spell Quellered, but I also think they'd be tempted to just eat that. Eat the Endless one. Nope. They had a good resolve. And now, since that's an X mana XX, the Stonecoil is gone forever. This does look like Esper Hero to me, by the way. Yep. Now it really looks like Esper Hero. I'm playing out my lands. Just don't want to get like randomly censored or something. I don't know what this deck could play. Obviously there's a chance that I should just go for the attack, trade Ballista for hero now. But I'm hoping that I manage to untap. And that we're both on low resources, and maybe this Ballista survives the turn cycle, at which point it becomes a 3/3. And we can shoot down a hero and have it survive. Like, that's a much better avenue for me to win this game, of which I am quite behind. Good old Gideon. Making my chances of winning the game a little bit worse, but That's the goods for you, the good father. If I draw a land, I'm immediately pumping this up. Yeah. And then I'll shoot down the hero. Not exactly sure what I need right now. But part of it might have been to have my opponent not have a Sorin off the top that can immediately get back their hero. They didn't immediately get back their hero. Interesting. Yeah, I'm in a bad way right now. I'm gonna concede. There's no coming back from this board state. Yeah, it was like this would have been playable, but not against that. Okay, so against what our opponent's doing, I think I want Fatal Pushes. I think I want some number of Thoughtseize. Against all their Planeswalkers and stuff. I can probably afford to trim a couple of Pelt Collectors and Endless Ones. Endless One seems just really bad against their deck. It offers no utility at all, it just dies. I'm gonna try that. I would like to play first. This hand is super keepable. It's a very proactive hand. If I can find a duplicate Constrictor, it's probably high on my list of cards to keep. It's my only viable choice. Awesome. Would have picked it over good cards too. But yeah, now they're incentivized to Thoughtseize me. Take the Constrictor. Which they did not have. Cool. Yeah, now we're doing the beatdown thing. Next turn I will play Nissa, hit for 9. The next turn I will not play Nissa. Next turn I will play Hardened Scales, Winding Constrictor. Or actually, I'm going to lead off with the Thoughtseize. So, I think I'm most scared of Spell Queller. Hero doesn't really do much. Especially if force them to Supreme Verdict. Yeah, that's the plan. Take the Queller. Play a backup Constrictor. Get in there. So they found the land, which means probably Teferi's coming down. Teferi bounces something. So at this point, play Aether Hub. Hardened Scales. I'm going to use one of my 2 energy for green. It's going to be my most green intensive turn. No point taking damage if I don't need to. I'm going to actually make a plant here. Next turn I can Experiment 1, Anthem Nissa. Yeah, still the plan. So this is a little bit weird. My plan at this point is I'm just going to try to force them to Supreme Verdict and wipe their own hero. Unfortunately now, they get a creature token out of it, but I think that was worthwhile. They can obviously Supreme Verdict me next turn. But I want to keep Nissa around. Get 2 bonus energy, thanks to Winding Constrictor. Maybe I was wrong on that not Abrupt Decaying thing, but a tapped 4th land is really the exact play that punished me there. Gidfather. Okay, that's really good. 2, 3. I mean, I can... So I can Voracious Hydra. Fight the Knight. Plus Nissa again. Because next turn I can minus and tap in with both plants. I can like minus. I have 2 minuses available, and I have an Abrupt Decay in my hand. I might have stolen this game back. It will block. This becomes a 2/3. It's probably playing to block a Champlain Vent. Which means that I'd much rather do that. This is really good for me. Okay. So they assign blockers. They Abrupt Decay the blocker. And we go to damage. Okay, cool. Trample. Trample's awesome. Okay, so we're into game 3. This is much tighter than I'd like it to be in general. I think my Thoughtseizes are right. Fatal pushes are a little narrow, but overall okay, especially since they can often tick up to 4. Maybe I want Collective Brutalities. Kind of as a split card of duressing. I can cut like a couple Stonecoil. Got 1 Stonecoil, 1 once upon a time. Since we've really lowered our creature density. Okay, this hand is pretty gas. Experiment. It's the turn 4 kill hand. I'm gonna try to put it into that sequence if I can. They Thoughtseize the Hardened Scales I've already won. Or, no, that's not true, but I'll feel good about myself. So if they Thoughtseize a Hardened Scale, I'm probably playing the other one. Like slightly out of sequence. Yeah. Just because I would much rather have it on the battlefield. Slightly slow, slightly delayed on everything, but we could still experiment 1 followed by Stonecoil Serpent next turn. Okay, yeah, so we were right to play out this Hardened Scales. Experiment 1 might be the take, but it's probably Stonecoil Serpent. Yeah. So a hidden Fatal Push is actually really awesome. Because they might commit a hero of Precinct 1, since they knew my hand had no removal. Do I want to YOLO into a Spell Queller? They're really representing Spell Queller here. So much so that I hesitate to use that. Just going to duress my opponent. Worse duress, I can't take a Planeswalker. Okay, yeah. Well, that spell. Wonder if they're going to attack. Nope. It's Thoughtseize. I'm just anticipating a Ojutize command, huh? Yeah, I'm going to take Ojutize command because I can push the JVP. So my opponent's next turn is Jace, Fringe Prodigy, and Shambling Vent. Then I'm going to push the Jace on the end step. Yep, we take that. That was a good draw for the future. So Rishkar trigger second. Attack! Boom! Two, 3, and 2, 3. I think that's okay. Let's attack. So they double block the spell queller. Sorry, double block the Rishkar. Then I fatal push the Shambling Vent. Eat the spell queller. Escalate. Drain and Duress. Discard Urborg. Hit nothing, but that's okay. Just wanted to make sure that I was hitting nothing. And we should be able to steal this game. There's even a Supreme Verdict here. We can regenerate Experiment 1. We got the match. Awesome. I will see you all for round 5. Hey everyone, we're back for the 5th and final round. We are on the draw against God of War 254. That rhymes. Nice. So this hand is like, it's close. It really wants a Hardened Scales effect. You've seen in previous games how good Hardened Scales effects are. And so I think it's right to mulligan those 7s that don't have them. I'm going to keep this 6, even though it doesn't have one. I'm going to bin the Aether Hub because my draw looks like it's going to be pretty green intensive. Uh-oh. We're against red aggro. This Llanowar Wastes is looking worse and worse. Okay, let's I think I actually want the land more than the endless one right now. Play a Pelt Collector. Would really like to draw a Winding Constrictor. Okay. Pelt Collector is now dead. Poor guy. Uh-oh. Hope that these two cards are bad. Peema, Battle Rage, Shock. I think I'm better off just not giving my opponent a target to shock. Hoping they only have 2 lands. Okay, so they play the shock, but at least they don't get Team or Battle Raged now. At this point, I'm going to play a 3/3 on this one. And hopefully I can block something. Creatures gain first strike, okay. Creatures gain trample. Oh boy. I'm not going to chump block. I'm going to take this and go to 5. Oh, that's a good draw. Okay, so now I can play Experiment 1, Winding Constrictor, and I don't think I need to play a Stonecoil Serpent. I can save that to be a big beater for next turn. I'm just going to hope that I'm able to gum the board up and I don't get burned out. Okay, Dreadhorde Arcanist is going to make that a... Nope, it's not, because I can Hydra it. Awesome. I was going to say that Dreadhorde Arcanist is going to make my plan to not die difficult, but should not be too bad. I can Hydra. Enters as a 3/4. Fight. Arcanist. And now Experiment 1 is a 5/5. I think I'm going to attack here. I want to close this game out quickly before my opponent draws enough burn spells to just take me out from 5. So now I play Rishkar. And I'm going to make... Just making the team pretty big here. Just equally large creatures all through. I think I'm supposed to attack with 2 of the creatures. Probably Hydra and Endless One. I have 4 blockers back. Yeah, I like this. Hopefully I got the game here. Definitely playing around Temur Battle Rage to the best of my ability. If my opponent attacks, I'm throwing an experiment one in front of one Swift Spear and everything else in front of the other. Oh. Well, I played that close. My opponent said that I played that as best I could, so cool. Or I played the line that got me the game. So against that kind of aggressive deck, I want Fatal Pushes, I want Collective Brutalities. Nissa seem a little slow. I don't want Llanowar Wastes, but I also can't afford to miss land drops, and I can spend them on colorless. Probably don't have too much time to be casting redundant OUATs, so gonna do that. Definitely don't want Thoughtseize. Golgari Charms, they have too much toughness. Yeah. That was a tight one. Whew. So this hand is it's pretty bad. It doesn't have a Scales effect. It does have Fatal Push, but I think I can mulligan. This has a Scales. Only one land. My opponent's on 5. I'm going to go to 5 as well. This is much better. Let's put away the Pelt Collectors. Experiment 1 I think is better as a blocker, since I can regenerate. I'm going to wait to see if they cast spells pre-combat. If they don't, I'm just going to take 1. Yeah, like that's scarier, I think. Here I'm going to play a Walking Ballista for 1. Not really intending to use it. Just it's a better use of my mana than anything else. Ideally, I'd like to play a bigger Endless one and whatnot. Oh, light up the stage. It's lit. Revealed Mountain and Dreadhorde Arcanist. That's rough. Okay. I think here I play Endless one for 3. Hoping that their hand is not particularly strong. That is quite strong. Tarkar's command. Shock. Okay, that makes it a 1/1. That's tough. Now I'm getting shocked again. What's getting shocked? Ballista? So just throw it at my opponent. I also think that this is probably high time to just accept this Endless One's duty as a chump blocker and block the maximum amount of damage. I was going to say that land would be a great card off the top. I did not mean a tapped land. I meant an untapped land. Because a big Voracious Hydra is really my only way out of this. So that's going to kill me. Because now Dreadhorde gets to flashback our Tarkar's command. Oof. Yeah. Forced to block, it's lethal, otherwise. We're pretty dead. Not going to lie. Yeah, land is good. Need to fight the Arcanist. I'm dead to practically anything here. Yeah, like shock, for instance. Okay, so I don't think much changes about that. I mulliganed low. I guess we both mulliganed to 5, but my opponent had a better 5 than I did. Yeah, that was a little bit tough. We can try to shake it off and get game 3 here. We'll be on the play, which is always a solid tempo advantage. Ideally, we have a hand with some Hardened Scales in them and mana to cast it and creatures, you know. All the cool things this deck does and you've seen over these past 5 matches. Yeah, we'll play first. Yeah, we'll keep this. The hand's a little bit painful, if you would, but I think that's okay. Yeah, these wastes are gonna sting. But I'm really happy about this. Right on cue. Okay, so green, black, Constrictor. I think I am the control deck here. So I'm going to wait a little more. I think if I can just make a big stone wall and then get in with the Hydra. I don't want to race and then die, especially since my pain lands deal me pain. So Pet Collector is getting roasted. No more pets or pelts to collect. Yeah, I'm definitely just going to Ballista here. Keep the board clear. And not attacking. Okay, Constrictor's out. Point I'm going to owe you at? No, I'm not. I'm going to play Hardened Scales and Constrictor, I think. Maybe I play owe you at and Constrictor. I gotta try to find a land here. Yeah, find a forest. Which then means I can play another Constrictor. The next turn I can do something with this Voracious Hydra. Either make an absolutely giant monster, or like an 8/9 if everything goes as planned. I top deck a land even bigger. Okay, my opponent's cycling cards, so that's good for me. Okay, that's a little bit rough, but them's the beats. Let's play Once Upon a Time. I'm going to not play the Stonecoil this turn. I can afford to delay a turn to make a big monster. My opponent's on the burn me out plan to light up the stage. Do a slash in a mountain. Soul Scar? Okay, I'm fighting that for sure. Or do I have to? I can just make it big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just make a giant. 9/10 Hydra. I'll slash to the face, yeah. Uh-oh. That's not what I want. Okay, Searing Blood is good. They can't really use it. Deals 2 damage, so it would make it smaller, but not too small. Deals 2. Guess I put my opponent on a 2-turn clock. Okay, so now my opponent's got 1 draw step to kill me. They have Searing Blood, which I know about. Okay. Yeah, that kills the Stonecoil Serpent. But I've still got a 9-power beater. They're out of cards. And I've got lethal. Great. Cool, so we 4-1 that league. Let's look at what we played against briefly. So we played against an interesting Saheeli Donate deck. And then we lost a tough 3. What was that to? Oh, it was to Spirits. Dance Spirits. Oops. Okay, I can't see that anymore. Let's go back and look at the match history. And we played against Grinder A, who was on mono white aggro. And then we was Grinder A on mono white, or was that the next one? One of them was on mono white aggro, one of them was on Esper Hero. Yeah, this was the Grinder A was on mono white. We got a 2-1. Then we got 2-1 against Esper Hero, and then we got 2-1 against a mono red prowess deck. So the deck overall, I thought performed quite well. It was fun to play. You could see a lot of the power of the deck. You don't need the artifact synergies to make absolutely giant monsters. And freeing yourself from the artifact shell opens up a lot of other options. Like you get to play Voracious Hydra in the main deck and just like have it work. You get to make absolutely giant Pelt Collectors and experiment ones with relative ease. You have also a pretty easy turn 4 kill that you saw that we executed a few times. We didn't run into the decks I expected to face with Phoenix or the mono green ramp deck. Our sideboard is really skewed towards those. I think we boarded in Leylines all of 0 times because we faced no Delirium and no Treasure Cruise decks. That's the awesome thing about an open and new format is there were 137 deck lists in that 5.0 deck dump on Monday. So just to put things in perspective, that is awesome. That's a lot of different decks, and a lot of people are finding success in Pioneer in different ways. So I hope you enjoyed these Hardened Scales videos, and if you like the deck, please try it out, make changes. Let me know what changes you made and how they've been working out for you. This is a brand new format. This is almost certainly not the right build of the deck. Nothing's going to be right in a new format a week in. But it felt really powerful. I'm really enjoying this, and I hope you enjoyed these videos and the article. So if you found this video on YouTube, please go to minmaxblog.com, where you can check out articles that me, Max, and my buddy Min and I post every week on non-rotating Magic formats. We've been doing mostly Legacy this year, but Pioneer is out, and Pioneer is exciting. So I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.